So,
No, I'm really looking forward to it. It came about a bit by accident through the conversations I had, and but then it also felt quite natural when I did decide to join, and it felt like it feels like a really good decision. So the more I meet the team, the more time I spend with John, the more excited I'm getting. So so far so good.
well, you've been around the scene long enough to know what John's teams are like, the way that they've dominated racing, a lot of racing anyway. So it must be nice to feel part of that instead of being on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, it goes back to like riding out to watch Lincoln when I was sort of 15, 16, and what would it have been then? Rafa Condor.
Yeah.
That was the team that everyone wanted to be in, and it was the most professional setup then. So it does feel quite. It's a little long ambition that's come true that I've had niggling away for a while, I suppose. But it's everybody knows how professional they are and how organised they are, and it comes through straight away. So.
When did you start racing? Because when I go and look at your results, like I looked at your results this morning, first thing that comes up, it was 2012. I'm thinking, bloody hell, was Tom around in 2012? When did you actually start racing of any form? Because I know that you're known as Mountain Bike Tom. Were you racing mountain bikes before we even saw you on the road?
No, that Twitter name just came about because like the group of friends that I've got, there's like a train driver, a fireman, and like everybody's got
the Yorkshire chain.
And then I was just like the one that does mountain biking, so that's all that was, and it's stuck. But I did some races as a junior, just like 3 or 4 races as a 4th, 3rd cap.
Yeah.
And then when I was at uni, I did some races as an amateur, as a 2nd, 3rd cat, I suppose. That was 4 or 5 years later. And then just carried on from there, I suppose. So this will be my 4th or 5th year. 5th year, I think, racing at this level.
Well, it's been a while.
I've been around a little while now, I suppose.
Well, I was looking at the RST colours when I was over at the shop yesterday, and that reminded me of where you began.
Yeah.
But you've come out of university. You're a university graduate in engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like having cycling as a career?
Yeah, it's something I stumbled into. It wasn't ever really something I wanted to do. It happened by accident, but I don't know. I tried not to worry about it. It's nice to have, like other qualifications behind me. I don't think I'll ever get back into it, but it's nice to know it's there. And I don't know. I just think that our generation is going to live differently to sort of my granddad. He got a job in a company when he was 16 and left there as a director 40 years later, but I think we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be working till we're 80 years old, and we might have 4 or 5 totally different careers in that time. So if I want to do this for a few years and see how it pans out, I'm not too stressed about the bigger picture. Things will work out.
2017. I haven't got my notes in front of me, but I do remember this morning looking him up. 6th in the Tour of Dubai overall. Yeah. Now that's you should be in World Tour, really, shouldn't you? You raced with the World Tour guys, though. What was that like?
I've had a really good year. I think it's probably not been as celebrated as the year before at Madison, but on paper I've had a really good year. And at One Pro, I think it was always going to be difficult to celebrate success because it was almost a given that we should be getting those results because obviously we were going to be pro Conti, and so the ambition of the team was set so high that when we achieved goals that have been good, it felt like we should have been doing that anyway. So it's not that it wasn't celebrated, it's just I don't know, it just felt different, and that was a good thing because, like I say, at One Pro we had our ambitions set really high, and we wanted to get back to pro Conti level. But it is strange. Like I won the Tour of Reservoir, which is a race that I really wanted to win, but I keep forgetting about it. And then someone brings up the race, and I think, which race was that? Oh, that was the race that I won.
And one in Poland as well. I think it was Poland, was it? Or
I did. I won a stage in a race in Poland. I've had a really good year. It ended in a bit of an unfortunate way with me not being very well before the Tour of Britain. And that was just one of them things, and I tried to make the most of it and go away to Belgium and race while the guys were racing the Tour of Britain, and that's a shame because it would have been nice to end with one pro, having a strong performance, but that's just unfortunate. But
well, winning in the UK, otherwise you would be like winning every week if it was easy. So the level up is quite high, but you found your feet in Dubai with these guys, these World Tour guys.
Yeah, I mean, what I managed to do in Dubai was not rocket science. Like, it's a sprinter's race, but there were the time bonuses up for grabs for people who went in the breakaway, and that's what I did. I just kept chipping away. So if you look at the results sheet, it doesn't mean that I'm a world-class sprinter. It just means that I went out there and got out of the race what I could get out of it. So I am proud of that result, but we've got to be realistic. Like, it just meant that I just got in breakaways and tried to keep chipping away and keep making the splits at the finish, and I managed to do that and get a really good result. But it's the same level of race as the Tour of Britain. If someone had got 6th overall in the Tour of Britain, it'd have been a huge thing. But it kind of just went it happened, and then we went home and carried on training. And I think I need to stop and pause and celebrate the success that I have a bit more.
Well, obviously, as you just said, you raced it smart, but you always have to have the legs. Everybody has to have the legs to back up what they want to do. And that's not the easy part.
No, it's not. As you say, the standard in the UK, it is high now. And I think there's a larger number of people that are there to win. And a larger number of teams that are there to influence the race. Outside of just the continental teams, some of the elite teams and even smaller than that, they can have a huge impact on the race, and they're there to race, and they're there to win. And as a top continental team, JLT Condor, we've got to keep trying to strive and get ahead of these guys. It's the name of the game. So we're forever being pushed, I suppose.
Well, I know that John, he has a large squad, and there'll be a Tour Series squad, and there'll be a stage race squad and all that. Where do you see your goals and that lying with this team?
I mean, it's difficult because, as you've just said, you've got to have the legs, and I can stand here and say I want to do this, I want to do that now in December, but I've got to be fit and healthy. That's the first job, which I didn't manage to do that for the Tour of Britain, and so. But next year I do want to win some big races. I want to win some stage races. I want to win stages. I've come to this team for the race program and the expertise and the standard that they race at.
And it's good to see guys having moved on from this team into the Pro Conti level, and
that's exactly
higher.
what it comes down to. I mean, to be honest, it was a very difficult decision coming here over other options, but then ultimately it was also quite straightforward because I thought, what do I want to do in this sport? I have to step up. I really want to try and do that. I have to do that next year. How do you do that? You win bike races. And how do you win bike races? Well, one thing I can control is I can be fit and strong and healthy, hopefully. The other thing is I have to be in the bike races. And then when you put it in black and white terms like that, this is the obvious choice. So that's what it came down to be honest.
Tomorrow, you're going to Australia? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, in the morning, I'm going to go there early,
So I know the team's going to Australia anyway, was it already part of your plan, or you just hitting it?
It's just family things like my mum and dad are on a cruise out and about, and by total chance they're actually going to be in Melbourne at Christmas when I'm there, so it will be quite nice. But because they were going away and didn't really have that much on at Christmas, and then they are big races that I want to do well in over there, so I think the longer you have to acclimatise and get settled, the better. So there's that side of it, and then obviously there is the fact that it's going to be a trip to Australia, and I'm going to get 2 weeks on my own. I'm going to do some training, but I'm also going to get time to explore. And I couldn't really think of a reason to hang around, to be honest.
Well, I can think of a lot of reasons for going to Australia, and exploring the places is obviously that's what I was doing at this time last year. So I know you'll enjoy that. But one of the differences between you and the other teams is you're going to start racing in January, whereas they're not going to start racing properly until April. So that must affect your whole winter training and what you're doing now.
Yeah, it has. And as I say, I want to hit the ground running in January, February, and I'm not going there for training. I'm going there, to influence the race. And my coach and I, we've been working hard and trying to bring that forward, but also be sensible about it. And so far, it's going well.
Well, the winter. It's not been a fantastic winter by any means, but we've had probably about a week of snow, I would have thought. Obviously, where I am is probably different to where you are in Yorkshire. But How has the weather affected your training?
Oh, it's been terrible, to be honest. I mean, it's been more than a week of really nasty cold weather. But
I must admit, on the way down here today, I did see snow, which we don't have where I am. So,
it's just the ice as well. Like I fell off and fell off one ride, and then but I've managed to get through it anyway, healthy, and that's a relief. But I don't know, maybe it's daft of me to keep going out on the road and doing these rides when I should be on the Zwift or whatever. But I don't know. I'd rather just go out and fight the weather and get on with it. But
is the chain gang still going out?
Yeah. And there's a healthy group of riders that want to get out on the bike in all weather where I am. So there's always someone to go out with, but it is a risk. You know, maybe I should have gone on the turbo more, but I've managed to get through it generally unscathed, and that's the main thing. Yeah. But I think when you have a trip like Australia on the horizon, it's a massive motivator. I mean, I've literally been counting down the number of hours I have to do until I get there. So,
bikes. You're going to be on a new bike this year, which I'm going to go and get acquainted with very soon. Are you a tinkerer with bikes? Are you looking forward to, or are you just going to wait for the bike to be handed to you and just?
Well, to be honest, I've had the bike already for a couple of weeks, and that's gone really well. I'm really enjoying riding it.
Yeah.
I think most riders will tell you that their position on the bike and the cleats and shoes, it's an ongoing evolutionary process. So I've certainly been tweaking things a little bit, but I'm pretty confident with the setup I've got now, which is good.
Finally, what is it that an athlete like yourself gets from racing? Because for a lot of guys, it's putting their hands in the air at the end.
Yeah, obviously that's a nice.
But pro racing isn't always like that, because I guess you would have found
the hit rate is low. It's not like a football team that obviously football teams aren't going to win 50-50 at the time, but they are going to win lots of matches. Whereas a cyclist, you don't really win that many. But it is a very rewarding sport when you're helping other teammates achieve things. I think some of the proudest days I've got on the bike and my fondest memories have been helping other people get success. And it is satisfying when you win something yourself, but with the help of others, because they share in that experience with you, and that's a unique sort of experience that not many people get to have. And that's something you can't buy, you can't manufacture, you just have to work at it. So I suppose I'd say that's something that cycling brings that you can't find in many other walks of life.